Is this recording?
It's recording.
Oh, it's recording.
Talk whatever you want.
So I'm Danielle.
And I'm Tim.
And we're here with our son Ace, if you hear a baby in the background.
Yeah. And our son Otis is starting kindergarten.
So since 2016, we've been living in Vermont. We have a small kind of homestead with chickens and ducks, but we're both originally from Los Angeles. So we, made kind of a difficult decision to kind of transition back to LA. We have family. Both of our parents are here and a lot of family is here.
Danielle and me grew up in LA. We met each other 20 years ago in Mar Vista. We met through grade school friends that we're still friends with to today, who all live in LA. So we have this incredible LA community and friends and family for 30 plus years, and our mutual friends and family for 20 years since I met Danielle in Mar Vista. And then we went to UVM for undergrad, moved back to LA for 6 years, and then moved back to Vermont for Danielle's medical school. And when we moved back to Vermont in 2016, we decided to buy a farm. And my background was it was a mixed background because my professional life was in startups. So I was working in Santa Monica, doing startups, or in Venice, Santa Monica area. And I had been doing that, but my studies were in horticulture and environmental studies specifically. So when we moved back to Vermont, I knew I was going to continue to do kind of the startup world. I was working in advertising specifically at the time. But I wanted to get back into farming. And so Danielle, she went and she got into medical school at University of Vermont. So we decided, let's move back. And I was like, I want to start a farm. So we started a farm. This was in 2017. And we did 2016, and we did what's called community supported agriculture, which is you work with the community, people buy in, essentially they buy shares in the farm for the season. And then every week we would deliver a big box of vegetables to them for 24-ish weeks in the summer. So anyways, it was incredible. We loved it. But then Otis, our first son, was born, and he was born in the summer of 2020 during the pandemic. And when that happened, it was just too much to do the farming and raise the kid. And I started a whole career path as a venture capital partner at a fund in Vermont. So basically we've had this incredible life up there, and it's an incredible place, and we love it, and we have a big farm and great community. But as kindergarten approached, our families are getting older, mm-hmm. and our friends that we met through each other are still here in LA. We were like, we got to get back to our roots, and we really miss LA. And so we're at the beginning of that transition.
I'm just excited for Otis. I think that there's maybe a little bit of nostalgia, oh, he's growing up, but more so I just think Otis is really ready to move on to this next chapter in his education. It will be interesting, seeing how Otis is such a he's the self-proclaimed farm boy. He loves the country. He loves being in Vermont.
Chickens.
He loves it. Yeah, we have chickens and ducks, which he really, really loves. We're figuring out how to bring as many as possible.
Yeah, we're planning on bringing the chickens, ducks.
At least some of them.
And starting some vegetable.
Yeah, trying to incorporate both. But yeah, so I do sometimes, worry about how he's going to do with the transition of being in a big city. We have spent the past 2 winters here, so he knows it, somewhat, and we have good friends that have kids his age, but it will be interesting to see how he transitions from like the country life to the city life.
I mean, I'm really excited about the next chapter and where it goes, and getting to be part of the community here, and meeting more people, and like even doing this podcast is such a fun thing, already, to jump right in to a new place and everything. What about you, Danielle?
I also am more, I think, nostalgic than you are, but I definitely am going to miss there. I mean, I'm really excited, but there's things I'm definitely going to miss about that Vermont community, which we've built over the last almost 10 years. That's pretty strong. I do think, our goal would be trying to figure out, like, we would like to spend our summers there. So trying to again, my goal is to somehow incorporate both worlds into our world. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna. It's bittersweet. I'm excited, but also a little sad.
From New Road School in Santa Monica, California, this is Village Voices, intergenerational conversations that cultivate an expanding curiosity about the world and its people. This is episode 21, Transitions.
And so it's just another thing that we do as parents. We have to let our kids go, so to speak. That sounds really weird because you don't let them go, but you do have to let them fly and have their own experiences, completely independent of you. My name is Kenya McGee. I'm the Dean of Student Life. I'm also the recent parent of my last alumni here, after being a parent here for 20 consecutive years. I know I'm going to pull in tomorrow without a student for the first time in 20 years. That's insane. It's really hard to wrap my brain around that. Alero Mack, he, like I said, he's been here throughout school, and he was an SOC. He was a president of BSU, and he was in tons of clubs on campus. He is now a freshman, just started school today at USC, where he is majoring in business of cinematic arts. We're in a very unique situation, because I had the pleasure of driving in with him every day, right? Where most parents, they drop off and, but we both got out of the car together every day. And then I got to see him throughout the day, which was a bonus. And, that was also fun and exciting because I was also not just hearing about his day, I was also going through the day with him. Very unique. So that was pretty much a privilege and a gift for me. His senior year was absolutely incredible. It was full of joy. And of course, it had its challenges because he was first semester in the thick of applying to colleges. But it's still, for us, it was a blessing. It really was. It was exciting. It was amazing to be a spectator, but also be in it with him. He worked really hard in school. I share this story, and I share it because I'm in awe of him. We usually would come in through the back door, always come in through the back door. And so he would put his backpack on the floor. He would grab a quick snack and he would sit down and he would work. He wouldn't change his clothes. He wouldn't say, hey, let me just take a beat. No, he went straight to work. Right. And he was like that throughout his entire high school career. And so once prom had come, you're winding things down. And so it was really good to see him just kind of let his hair down and hang out. So when I say he was outside since prom, he was outside. The summer, it was meant for friends. And of course I wanted to spend time with him, but I didn't want to take away from his friends that were going to be going out of state. And so, I kind of just let him be. And it was also something that I don't want to say that I needed, but it was important for me because he's my last child, right? And so I needed to get used to him being away, right? Because we've been a constant for each other. He had a great summer. He had a great summer.
Wow. How was your summer?
How was my summer? Emotional. Dan, are you trying to make me cry? It was wonderful. I had a great summer. I wish that I spent more time with him, but I recognize that his time belongs to him, not to me. It was fun. It was beautiful, but sad for me. Very sad. Yeah, many tears for me this summer. It's hard, right? But it's good. It's good. This is the evolution of things. I think tomorrow when I pull in, I'm definitely going to have to take a beat in my car. I'm definitely going to have to take a beat in the morning, right? Alara was, to me, a big presence on campus. And now there's a void for me as a mom, right? But I am excited. I will say that. I'm excited to have my own identity, which sounds weird. Because yeah, it looks like I have my own identity here, but my first job is mom, right? And so I'm interested to see what it's going to be like to come to work as Kenya, the Dean of Student Life, without an and or a but, right? So I'm looking forward to that. I feel like tomorrow's my first day of school also. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, and also I'm really excited. I'm excited for the new school year. I'm excited for all of the students. I'm excited for what's to come for the community. And so I'm trying to focus on that, now that you've made me cry a little bit. Cleansing tears. Healing tears.
Do I have to talk into the mic or just like...
There's fun.
Oh, okay. I'm Sabrina Canebatcher. I'm 13 years old and I'm in the 8th grade. A few things that I love to do is swim, play volleyball, and hang out with my family, go biking, and a bunch more. One of my friends at Ocean Charter School, his older sister came to New Roads, and my mom was talking to their parents, and they mentioned the school New Roads. They were talking a lot, and she was describing the school, and it just felt really perfect because it has like a bunch of electives, really great sports, and a great community as well. And I felt like it would be perfect to come for 8th grade so that I can continue on with my journey for high school. That's how it started, yeah. At first, when I moved to the other school, Good Shepherd, I felt really sad because I've been there for 6 years. But then making new friends, I realized that, this is a new chapter in my life, so it'll be great for me, and also just meeting new people, different environments as well. And now going into Nero's, I'm really excited. I've already met a few people that are really kind and nice, and I'm excited to join New Roads. For me, I really like studying actually, and I'm really excited to learn more about biology because at my old school, I didn't really get to learn as much, but I know here I'm definitely gonna have more expansion of my learning. And I'm really excited also for the trips, like the camping trip, and also just meeting everybody and getting close to everybody as well.
There's a certain power in humility and don't lose sight for 1 minute of how awesome and awestruck you need to be that parents and caregivers are putting in your responsibility, their children. And I think when I was young, there was this sense of, I got this, right? To use a current phrase that you buy around. You never want to really believe that. You always want to be a little bit on the edge going, how can I be better? How can I take care of kids better? How can I take care of my relationship with this community better? And that really has to come from a place of humility. Hi, I'm Dan Vorenberg. I'm currently the interim head of the New Roads School in my second year of a 2-year interim. Prior to that, a fairly lengthy career in independent and public schools, beginning in the very early 80s as an elementary school teacher, and then for one reason or another, found myself in administrative positions, including running a number of schools in Boston, Albany, Indianapolis, and here in California with other administrative responsibilities, most recently in Columbus, Ohio. When somebody sort of has the opportunity to take a look down the road and say, essentially, I think my work here is done at one organization. That's one form of sort of both personal, professional, and institutional reflection. The other is sort of a sense of where is somebody in their life, and I think those are a juxtaposition for me that I really enjoyed moving to LA and working at the Merman School, which is nearby, K through 8. And that was a school that I think had a wonderful history of and a very strong mission. And I think my tenure there felt like it was a good match for my skill set. And as a sort of maybe 2 years before leaving, I sort of juxtaposition of getting a little bit older. My kids are beginning to have kids and thinking a little bit about family. And so with 2 years to go at Merman, the board and I had discussions about making that transition as professional and comfortable as possible. So you sort of gave the school a couple of years. But I really, in all honesty, Dan, thought I would announce my retirement, not sure what was next, but also I'd looked at some stuff, but some short-term things, but really hadn't moved on anything. And then right into, I think, May, I got contacted. So it was sort of this interesting balance because Merman kindly celebrated my tenure, but the term was retirement. And I then went on very soon after that celebration to take the job at New Roads. So I'm not sure Merman's speaking to me anymore. But anyway, I still enjoy a very good relationship there. But I think I was trained as a progressive educator. I felt New Roads had been going through sort of some of its own transitional stuff. And I felt for a couple of years that I might, my skill set at this time, at this point for New Roads, might be a good fit. In terms of my personal, at the crux of your question, where was I personally? It caught me a little off guard that when I came to talk, I sort of got excited about some of my roots in Boston and some thoughts about progressive education, being trained at the Shady Hill School in Cambridge, Mass, which still is, I think, one of the leaders of progressive ed, and then maybe thinking I could bring some of that experience and some of the both intellectual and emotional energy to sort of continue my own growth as an individual, but also support a school that I think has a pretty outstanding past and future. If you've had 5 to 7 to 10 year opportunities, which I have had at some schools, there's a great adage, I think, if I remember correctly, you sort of really know the school becomes your own if you've made a difference when you join, the youngest kids are your graduating kids, whether it be K-8, K-12, K-6. And I think, so knowingly, that was never going to be the situation here. I also think I'm very much something from my old summer camp. You leave your campsite neater than you found it. And I think that I can see 5 to 7 years out for New Roads. I'm very optimistic. I think the best I could do is to help work with terrific faculty, staff members, trustees, parents, to set the stage for the next 5 to 7 years. And I think it's a great opportunity for someone. But I think there was an element, there was some attraction to it having a finite beginning and end at this point in my career. I think, there's no way 10, 15 years ago when I went for a headship, or I thought about a headship, or I thought about a leadership, that I thought about it in terms of 1 or 2 years. We're doing this discussion the day before the kids arrive. So there's always this kind of unbelievable embrace of I feel about the start of school. I've always felt it. I probably felt it when I was in school, that, so we're talking at a time where the here and now is obvious, right? This is a great group of folks. The campus is going through some changes. As much as I talk about transition, I feel like I would probably use a term like renewal right now, that I think schools and people need to go through periods of renewal. And I think this is a great opportunity for New Roads. When I talk about the end of it, it's sort of, I think you have to lift your eyes up now and then and say, where exactly do you want to be? Because strategically, even a year, obviously great strategic plans are 3 to 5 years, and you look at sort of those windows. For me, is sort of what do I have both written and unwritten in my head that sort of says, hey, here's where true north is for the next 10 months. And so that's one very kind of institutional answer or strategic answer. Abject panic probably is in somewhere circulating in my psyche, because as I open these comments up with, that I've been doing the same thing or living the same schedule for very long, there's probably something inside me, or so like any emotional human being would say, sort of, what is next? So it's really that idea of doing two things, right? Again, doing the very best job I can for these last 10 months for the school, and sort of leaving it on the proverbial field or court or classroom, and at the same time, I just don't think I'm designed to be sort of out munching lazily in the field, or, working on what is really a fairly decrepit golf game. I think there is both an excitement and an anxiety of sort of what's next at what will be, in my 68th year.
Today's episode featured Tim, Danielle, Kenya, Sabrina, and Dan V. Production by me, Dan Carney. I'm also the K-8 Assistant Director here at New Roads. Tune in next time for more Voices from the Village.